If you've ever said he speak English, or wondered why the school is sometimes just school, or even said I goes to school, you're in the right place. Because today, we're busting the 5 grammar mistakes that are secretly sabotaging your English, and I'm going to show you how to fix them before you embarrass yourself. Stick around, this is going to be good.
Whoa, whoa. Hold your horses, Leo. While I appreciate the enthusiasm, let's remember, we're here to help, not scare people. But you're right, these mistakes are common, and we're going to break them down in a way that's easy to understand. Welcome, everyone, to the English Cafe. I'm Maya, and with me is the ever-excitable Leo.
So, today, we're tackling something super practical. There are a lot of common mistakes that beginners make when learning English.
That's right, Leo. We've all been there, haven't we? Those little slip-ups that make you go, oops! But the good news is, these are totally fixable.
Exactly. Understanding these common pitfalls is the first step to avoiding them. So let's jump right in, shall we? All right, mistake number 1, and this is a classic, getting to be verbs wrong.
Now, for those who might be wondering, the verb to be is one of the most fundamental verbs in English. It has different forms depending on who or what we're talking about and when we're talking about it.
Exactly. Think of words like is, am, and are. These are the most common present tense forms. We often hear things like, I is happy, or they is going to the park.
And why is that incorrect, Leo?
Because the verb to be needs to agree with the subject. Remember, folks, the verb to be changes depending on the subject.
So it's, I am happy, he/she is going to the park, and they/we, you are going to the park.
You're right, Maya. We know this is a common area for mistakes, so let's give you even more examples to help you nail it.
Absolutely, Leo. Seeing these verbs in different sentence structures and with various subjects will really help solidify our listeners' understanding. Let's start with am again, which, as we know, pairs exclusively with I. I is happy. This is incorrect. The correct sentence is, I am happy. I are a doctor. Incorrect sentence. The correct sentence is, I am a doctor. I be going to the store. Incorrect sentence. The correct sentence is, I am going to the store. Here, am is a helping verb in the present continuous tense. Yesterday I were tired. Incorrect. The correct sentence is, yesterday I was tired. Past tense of am is was.
Now, let's look at is, used with singular third-person subjects, he, she, it, and singular nouns. He am a student. This is incorrect. The correct sentence is, he is a student. She are my sister. Incorrect. The correct sentence is, she is my sister. It am raining outside. Incorrect. The correct sentence is, it is raining outside. The cat are sleeping. Incorrect. The correct sentence is, the cat is sleeping. My mother am a teacher. No, my mother is a teacher. Yesterday she were sick. This is incorrect. The correct one is, yesterday she was sick. Past tense of is was.
And finally, let's focus on are, used with you, we, they, and plural nouns. You is very kind. This is incorrect. The correct sentence is, you are very kind. We am friends. Incorrect. Correct sentence, we are friends. They is coming to the party. Incorrect. Correct sentence, they are coming to the party. The books is on the shelf. Incorrect. Correct sentence, the books are on the shelf. My parents is very proud. Incorrect. Correct sentence, my parents are very proud. Yesterday they was happy. Incorrect. Correct sentence. Yesterday they were happy.
These examples really highlight how important it is to match the form of to be with the subject. It might seem repetitive, but this is a fundamental building block.
Exactly. Pay close attention to the subject of your sentence every time you use a form of to be. Ask yourself, who or what am I talking about? Is it I, a singular person/thing, or a plural group?
And don't forget about those short forms or contractions in spoken English and informal writing. I'm, I am, you're, you are, he's, he is, she's, she is, it is, we're, we are, they're, they are. Using these correctly will also make your English sound more natural.
That's the key. Pay close attention to who or what you're talking about. Practice saying simple sentences out loud, focusing on using the correct form of to be.
And don't be afraid to write them down. Seeing it can really help solidify it in your mind.
So keep practicing, keep listening, and keep these examples in mind. You'll conquer those to be verbs in no time.
Okay, moving on to mistake number 2, confusing singular and plural nouns.
The dreaded S at the end of words. Sometimes beginners forget to add it when they're talking about more than one thing.
Precisely, we might hear, I have 1 cat and 2 dogs.
And while we understand what you mean, it should be, I have 1 cat and 2 dogs. That little S makes all the difference.
It does. And sometimes there are irregular plurals too, like child becoming children or person becoming people.
Good point, Leo. So pay attention not only to adding S for most nouns, but also learn those common irregular plurals.
Let's dive into some more examples to clarify this.
Yes, Leo. Let's start with the basic rule, adding S to most singular nouns. So we have singular form on the left side and plural on the right in this table. Singular, plural cat, cats, book, books, chair, chairs, table, tables, friend, friends.
But then we have nouns that end in S, sh, ch, x, or z. For these, we usually add s to form the plural. For example, bus becomes buses, glass becomes glasses, dish becomes dishes, watch becomes watches, box turns into boxes, quiz becomes quizzes.
And then there are nouns that end in a consonant followed by y. For these, we usually change the y to is. For example, baby becomes babies when we use it in plural form. City becomes cities, family turns into families. Story becomes stories. Country changes to countries.
So as you can see, while adding s is a good starting point, there are many nuances to forming plural nouns in English. The best way to learn these is through exposure, reading, listening, and paying attention to how native speakers use different nouns.
Flashcards can be really helpful for memorizing those irregular plurals. You can have the singular form on one side and the plural on the other.
And don't be afraid to ask if you're unsure. It's better to ask and learn the correct form than to keep making the same mistake.
Absolutely. Keep practicing, and you'll get the hang of those singular and plural nouns in no time. Now, moving to the next mistake. Mistake number 3 is all about incorrect word order in questions.
This is a big one. In English, the word order in a question is often different from a statement.
Yes, Leo, this is a crucial area because asking questions correctly is essential for communication. Getting the word order wrong can sometimes make your questions sound like statements, leading to confusion.
Exactly, Maya. In English, the typical structure of a statement is usually subject, verb, object, complement. For example, you are happy. She goes to school. They eat pizza.
Right. Instead of saying, you are going home, we need to switch the are and the you to say, are you going home?
Exactly. The helping verb like is, are, do, does, can, etc. usually comes before the subject in most questions.
Let's dive into some more examples. Suppose we have a statement, you are tired. To make it a question, we usually invert the subject, you, and the to be verb are. So the statement changes to, are you tired?
Let's take another sentence. She is going home. To turn it into a question, we write, is she going home?
Likewise, I am late becomes, am I late?
And remember, using a questioning tone of voice isn't enough in English. The word order is crucial.
So practice forming questions. Think about simple questions you might ask every day, like, what is your name or where do you live? Pay attention to that word order.
Our fourth common mistake involves misusing prepositions. Words like in, on, at, by, for, and with.
Oh, prepositions. These little words can be surprisingly tricky. We often hear things like, I am going to home, instead of, I am going home.
Or the book is on the table, when it should be, the book is on the table. Okay, that one was correct. But you see my point. Prepositions often depend on context, and there aren't always clear-cut rules.
Yes, Leo, though there might be some rules, but most often they depend on contexts. We would have to make a whole new video on prepositions for that.
Exactly. Dear listeners, if you would like a detailed video on each of these topics, tell us in the comments below. We would love to help you out in your English learning journey with the nuances of English so that you can become a pro English speaker. And if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, do subscribe.
And also hit the like button if you like this video. It motivates us and helps us to bring out more stuff for you guys.
Now, prepositions can be an entire web, and you might get entangled in it. But do not worry. Just remember that these tell us about the relationship between things, time, and place. Unfortunately, there aren't always clear, logical rules that translate easily from other languages, which makes them a common source of error for beginners.
Absolutely, Leo. Prepositions often depend heavily on context and idiomatic usage. What might seem logical in your native language might not be the standard way to express the same idea in English. That's where a lot of the confusion comes in. That's true. It often comes down to memorization and lots of exposure to the language. Pay attention to how native speakers use prepositions in different situations.
So let's start with some common areas of difficulty, particularly with prepositions of place and time.
Beginners often struggle with when to use in, on, and at. In generally indicates being inside something or within a defined area. For example, I live in London. London is a city. The book is in the drawer. Inside the drawer. The picture is in the frame. Inside the frame. On typically indicates being on a surface. The cat is on the roof. On top of the roof. The information is on the page. On the surface of the page. He lives on the third floor. On a specific level.
At is often used for a specific point or location. For example, I am at the bus stop. A specific point. She is at the school. A specific institution/location. Meet me at the corner of the street. A specific point where two streets meet.
I hope you got a bit clarity through these examples, but the best way to tackle prepositions is through extensive exposure to the English language. Pay close attention to how native speakers use them in different contexts.
Reading English books, articles, and websites, listening to podcasts and music, and watching movies and TV shows will all help you develop a better feel for the correct prepositions.
Keep a notebook and jot down phrases and sentences you come across, paying special attention to the prepositions used.
Don't be afraid to ask for clarification when you're unsure. Online dictionaries and grammar resources often provide example sentences that can show you how prepositions are used correctly.
And remember, even advanced learners sometimes make mistakes with prepositions. It's a challenging area, but with consistent effort and attention, you'll definitely improve. And finally, our fifth common mistake is forgetting to use articles a, an, and the.
Yes, these little words can seem insignificant, but they're important for clarity. They play a crucial role in English grammar by specifying whether we're talking about something general or something specific. Omitting them can often lead to sentences that sound a bit incomplete or unclear.
Absolutely, Leo. Articles help our listener or reader understand whether we're referring to any one thing from a group, one specific thing, or a general concept.
So let's start with the indefinite articles, a and an. We use these when we're talking about a noun that is nonspecific. It's just one of many.
We often hear beginners say things like, I saw a dog instead of I saw a dog, or I want apple instead of I want an apple.
Remember, a is used before consonant sounds like dog, book, table.
And an is used before a vowel sounds like apple, egg, orange.
Vowel sounds?
Yes, mostly words starting with the letters A, E, I, O, U.
The is used when you're talking about something specific, something that the listener or reader already knows about or that has been previously mentioned. For example, I saw a cat. The cat was black. First, we mention a cat using indefinite a. Second mention of the same cat is definite the.
Exactly. It takes practice to remember when to use which article or when not to use one at all. But don't worry, we will cover these topics in detail in the upcoming episodes. So stay tuned and subscribe to the English Cafe.
Pay attention to whether you're talking about something singular or plural, and whether it's a general thing or a specific one.
Now that we have discussed 5 common mistakes that beginners make, it's time to put your knowledge to the test.
That's right, Maya. We've prepared a little practice exercise for you. We'll give you some sentences that contain one or more of the errors we've discussed. Your task is to identify the mistake and correct it. Ready to challenge yourselves?
Absolutely. Grab a pen and paper, or just think about it in your head. Here we go.
Okay, sentence number 1. They is going to park today. What's wrong and what's the correction? The mistake here is with the to be verb. They is plural, so it should be are. The correct sentence is, they are going to the park today. Good job if you got that.
Sentence number 2. I have 2 cats in my house. Spot the error. This one involves singular and plural nouns. 2 indicates more than one, so cat should be plural. The correct sentence is, I have 2 cats in my house.
Sentence number 3. The book is on table. What's missing? This sentence is missing an article. Table is a singular, non-specific noun here, so it needs a or the depending on context. If it's just any table, it's the book is on a table. If it's a specific table we've already talked about, it's the book is on the table.
You don't like coffee. What's the error? This is a subject-verb agreement issue. He is a third-person singular subject, so the verb like needs does, and the main verb should be in its base form. The correct sentence is, he doesn't like coffee, or he does not like coffee.
Sentence number 5. I am going to home now. What's incorrect here? This involves a misused preposition. We don't usually use to before home when it's used as an adverb of place. The correct sentence is, I am going home now.
Sentence number 6. She have a big family. Find the error. The mistake here is with subject-verb agreement. She is third-person singular, so have should be has. The correct sentence is, she has a big family.
Sentence number 7. Where you live. What's missing to make this a proper question? This needs an auxiliary verb to form the question correctly in the present simple. The correct question is, where do you live?
Sentence number 8. I saw an interesting movie yesterday. Spot the article error. The article needs to agree with the sound of the following word. Interesting starts with a vowel sound, so we need N. The correct sentence is, I saw an interesting movie yesterday.
Sentence number 9. The children's play in the park. What's wrong with the noun? Children is already the plural form of child, so we don't add an S. The correct sentence is, the children play in the park.
He is good and plays soccer. Take a look at the preposition. The preposition used with good when talking about an activity is usually at. The correct sentence is, he is good at playing soccer. Note that the gerund playing often follows at in this context. In other words, verb plus ing are followed by at cooking, at dancing, at playing, etc.
How did you all do? Hopefully, that little exercise helped you identify these common mistakes in action.
Today, we've really dug deep into some of the most frequent stumbling blocks for those just starting their English journey. We've explored those tricky to-be verbs, the sometimes confusing world of singular and plural nouns, the importance of correct word order in questions, the often illogical prepositions, and the crucial role of those little articles, a, an, and the, plus We added that essential point about subject-verb agreement across all verbs.
Absolutely, Maya, and while it might seem like a lot of rules and exceptions, remember that every single English speaker, including native ones, started somewhere. Making these kinds of mistakes is not a sign of failure, but rather a natural and necessary part of the learning process. Think of these errors as stepping stones on your path to fluency. By understanding why these mistakes happen and, more importantly, how to correct them, you're actively building a stronger foundation in English.
That's a great way to put it, Leo. Awareness is the first big step. Now that you're more familiar with these common pitfalls, you'll likely start noticing them more in the English you read and hear, and even in your own attempts to speak and write. This increased awareness will empower you to self-correct and improve over time.
And remember, learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be days when you feel like you're making rapid progress, and other days when you might feel a bit stuck. That's perfectly normal. The key is to stay consistent with your learning, keep practicing, and don't let occasional errors discourage you. Every mistake you identify and correct is a victory.
We truly hope that today's episode has provided you with some practical tips and clear explanations that you can take away and apply to your English learning. Don't just passively listen. Actively try to incorporate these corrections into your speaking and writing. Seek out opportunities to practice, whether it's talking to yourself, writing in a journal, or connecting with other learners.
And please, don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're unsure about something, reach out to a teacher, a language partner, or even explore online resources. You can also reach us out in the comments below. There's a whole community of learners and educators out there who are ready and willing to support you on your journey.
We're so impressed by your dedication to learning English, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Keep listening to English with Everyday Conversations at the English Cafe. Keep practicing, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. You've got this. Remember, the key is to be aware of these potential pitfalls and to practice constructing your sentences consciously. The more you do it, the more natural it will become.
Join us next time for another episode packed with helpful tips and insights to further boost your English skills. Until then, keep practicing, stay curious, and have fun with the language.